Conscious collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, change makers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
Hi, guys. Welcome in. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily. And we are the Conscious Collaboration Podcast. We have a fun day because it's a guest day.
Yay!
Our guest today is a very special person in my life. I have known her for 11 years. We are with Aquanya Hicks of Hicks Anesthesia. And we worked together starting in 2011 at the hospital. And Aquanya is now a CRNA, certified registered nurse anesthetist, if you don't know. And she has her own company in which she's doing that. That's Hicks Anesthesia. She's been doing this for 4 years now. And we just, in our little side conversation, discovered that we've all been in our businesses for about 4 years now. So and she is here with us today to talk about several things. We're going to get into nurse entrepreneurship. We're going to get into health as wealth and energy management and all sorts of other good stuff. Whatever comes up, we're going to roll with it. So how are you, Aquanya? Thank you for being here.
Thank you guys for having me. And hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I've been well.
You have such a peaceful, calming energy, just even coming in and talking.
Yeah.
Well, I try. Sleep with the best. Anesthesia, right?
Yeah. That's
More
a great,
importantly, wake up.
that's a great little slogan.
I got to tell you, Aquanya, as a patient who's been through many surgeries, I'm so grateful for all the anesthesiologists I've ever come to meet, because they're like the last person that you see before you go into something that's sometimes very nerve-wracking and scary. But it's just, I'm just always so grateful and thankful. And then I never see that person ever again. But
Think about how crazy of a concept that is too. And like, what a great responsibility to literally stop someone's, but I mean, of course there's different kinds of anesthesia, but in the
and I don't
biggest sense to stop everybody's, vital functions and make sure they stay alive.
Because I mean, the surgeon's important, but if he doesn't have a specimen to operate on, I mean, does it matter that your boobs are amazing if you don't wake up?
If you don't wake up, right?
And if I kind of, but no, I all jokes aside, I don't take it lightly, because we have such a small time frame to develop trust with our patients. And I feel like it's my purpose, actually, because I love what I do. I feel like I was designed for it. I feel like it's my responsibility when I step into your room that morning or afternoon of surgery to build that rapport and also just convey to you that, you're absolutely my family while you're in my care. And I explain to your, I'm not just taking care of you, but who's ever there with you the day of surgery, and it's my responsibility to make, I'm your advocate while you're asleep. You know what I mean? And more importantly, like you said, you don't see us when you wake up, but if I can, I try to round back through recovery just to let them know, hey, I was there, you did amazing. That doesn't always happen, but just rest assured the fact that you're awake and in recovery, your provider, whoever that was, took excellent care of you. So
and I can vouch for that. I know when we worked together and we were on a pretty intense unit, we'll say, but you work with certain people and you just feel better. You know that the day is going to be, no matter what happens, the day is going to be okay when certain people were there. And Aquanya was always one of those people. Yes,
we had fun.
We did. We had fun too.
And we had patients who came back to see us after like traumatic brain injuries that would, I remember one guy in particular came back and played the guitar. That's just one of many.
Yeah.
That just speaks to the, the quality of care. But when you have people who are in a good space mentally taking care of the sick people, you have to know that the care is elevated even more. So,
absolutely.
The doctors are there for a brief moment, but your nurses and the other care providers are there day in, day out, around the clock. So it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I'm
thank
glad
you
I'm not
so
there
much.
anymore, but those were fun times to look back on.
Mhm.
Complicated times.
I love to hear those stories too. I just really greatly appreciate anybody in your field that you're like a Sherpa to people that are going through some of the most traumatic times of their lives and reorganizing their bodies. And how do you maintain your sense of self and your wholeness through all of that chaos?
Honestly, I think self-reflection is definitely an important piece of maintaining a level of sanity. Because when you're going in to take care of people, these people didn't ask to be here, right? No one chooses to be sick, but you did choose the profession. So you have a responsibility to show up and show up in a great way, show up the best version of yourself, the most educated version of yourself. And if that means you tapping into a spirituality or whatever it is, you need to be able to check your issues at the door before coming in and caring for someone's family member, because it's not just a task, right? It's not, yes, it's our job, but it's not just something we do. This is someone's mother, this is someone's brother, this is someone's baby. You know what I mean? And to
Yeah.
you, it may just seem like the next thing to chart, but to them, it's their everything. So when you not only take on that responsibility, but it's really a privilege. And if you view it as such, your care is going to come out in a completely different way, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I wish I would have. I mean, I had access to this information, I guess, but I wasn't engaged in all the spirituality and energy management and trauma release and those sorts of things. And so I was doing the more self-medicating and just compartmentalizing and not dealing with emotions route for the time being. But yeah, I mean, I can tell that you've always sort of operated in that way, just like showing up and choosing to show up, as your best self, no matter what's going on that day. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, we're not perfect. I mean, I had off days. I'm going to say that, like some, but what I tried to do, especially with my coworkers, because we were like a sisterhood there, I swear. We had a great time. If I was having an off day, I would kind of come in and let them know, hey, if I seem a little off today, this is what it is. So, I mean, I may not be myself, but I'll be back in a couple of hours.
It's not you, it's me.
Right. Because you don't want people walking around like, did I do something to her? I might just be a little bit more whatever. And then if you have your buddy there, they give you a powwow talk, maybe they can bounce you out of it. And some days it's just not going to be an amazing day. And that's okay. So,
and when all else fails, just tell really inappropriate jokes.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's
away from patients.
Yeah, that's right. Close the door.
Yeah. So what made you, well, first of all, what made you leave that staff nursing position and decide to go into anesthesia?
Okay. So staff nursing for me was always a stepping stone. And I say that, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, but I started out in respiratory therapy. So I loved taking care of people, period. But from a respiratory standpoint, actually, while I was in respiratory school, I shadowed a CRNA. I was supposed to be going to see a perfusionist, but the perfusionist was off that day. So they just paired me with a CRNA. It was something I had never heard of. I was like 26 years old, never heard of the profession at all. But after being with that CRNA for that day, that was a life-changing event for me. So from that moment forward, I was like, oh my gosh, how can I do this? Right. So I was a single mom. So really traveling out of state for schooling wasn't it was an option because whatever you want to do, you make a way. But if I could find an option where I would have a little bit more family support, it was definitely going to work out better. So I became a nurse first.
First things first.
Become a nurse first, before you become a nurse anesthetist. But I always knew I wanted to do critical care, because as a respiratory therapist, I worked in the critical care units a lot. I would intubate. So to me, anesthesia was merging the nursing aspect with the respiratory, because I didn't leave respiratory because I hated it. I mean, I just wanted I wanted more. I wanted more. So I got, into nursing school. I went straight into the unit because of my skills as a
Mhm.
respiratory therapist. The
Mhm.
managers were eager to hand me critical care positions.
That's
in
right.
grad. So,
Yeah.
it's about selling yourself. And when something's truly for you anyway, it's going to
It'll make its way. Yeah.
It's going to fall in your lap. So that
Yeah.
position fell in my lap. I end up loving neuro. I stayed a lot longer than I anticipated because the initial plan was to do a year and a half and then apply to grad school.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up staying for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes
There's
we
that
get-
4 again.
Yeah. We get comfortable in life. And when we get comfortable, for me, God had to kind of make me a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm sure you were there when Bayfront was bought out. It was no longer for
A
profit.
couple times. Yeah.
So many things changed and it was just not what it used to be. It wasn't. Well, and this is just my opinion because I don't want someone who works at Bayfront to whatever, but I didn't feel like it was patient-centered care as much as it was profit.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's in a lot of ways just the way that healthcare is going in general.
I get it. They have to make money, but it basically propelled me into what my initial plan was. Like now it's time to apply to school. So I did, and
anesthesia school and a CRNA school is like one of the hardest things you can do. Nursing school in itself is incredibly hard, but CRNA school is like
it's like riding a bicycle through hell.
Yeah.
With no clothes on.
Yes. Yeah.
But no, it sucked. I mean, honestly, it brought something out of me. If I had it to do over again, knowing what I know now, I love the profession, but I don't know.
I think sometimes like what you're talking about too, we learn so much of our like shadow periods or that, when we go through the darkest, you wouldn't have even seen this path that you're on right now.
At all.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because then I went back to work at the school.
So
tell people there's a light at the end of the
yes. Right through hell.
We'll put the fire out at the end.
So then you did that for a couple of years, and what made you transition into becoming your own business?
So honestly, so I had it in the background because I was working a full-time W-2 position once I graduated, and I would have like what I call like my little side hustle. So what happened is my side hustle became my main hustle. My side hustle was me working for myself in little business, like office-based settings, anesthesia or whatever. And I'll be honest, seeing the way companies responded to COVID, I felt like if I'm going to screw myself, I might as well do it to myself. I'm not going to wait for a company to do it to me. The things that I was on the front line risking my life, risking my family's life for a company to tell me like what you had to do. Benefits would be. And then it's like I even went so far because at my core, I like helping people. So I was going to go up to Jersey. And since they were saying they were going to cut our hours, I said, well, I'll take a contract up there to kind of help out with COVID relief since that's what I'm doing here anyway. I basically would have voided my contract and they would have been able to sue me. I'm like, wow, rammed oil, no Vaseline. So I went into a lot of searching at that point, and it just really made me say, you know what, now's the time to bet on me. And so from that point on, I did. Was it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes, because like Em also remembers, I worked 16-hour shifts back then, and I was screwed left and right. So, I have a lot more balance. I didn't realize how important that was because I never had it. But once I got it, it's priceless because it's like now they're sending about how much they would pay me to get me back. And it's just no amount of money is worth the peace of mind that I experienced.
With that autonomy. Yeah. And I wonder do you think this is just kind of the way that nursing is going? Because it seems like, and of course, there's all different kinds of nursings and settings that you can be a nurse in. But if you're in a big system setting, hospital or other type of facility like that, it just seems like that the less and less control you have over your own situation, it just gets miserable. So, I mean, I found an entrepreneurial out.
Right.
And it just seems like there's more and more of that kind of popping up.
You know what I kind of feel like, and this is just one person's aspect, opinion of it. I feel like nurses, there's like a great awakening. And what I mean by that, all of these hospitals, they've done what they needed to do. They've gone, a lot of them have shifted from nonprofit to profit. A lot of them, have shifted from nonprofit to profit. And, they're doing what's best for the hospital. So when I say that nurses are having a great awakening, they're understanding what their worth is. And when they're not getting that from hospitals, they're saying, you know what, if the hospital isn't going to value me, I'm going to bet on myself. I understand what skill set I bring to the table. Without nurses, hospitals could not profit like they, you know what I mean? So with that being said, if you're not going to value me in a way that I can properly take care of my family, I'm going to bet on me. And it's not personal, it's business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand COVID showed a lot of people where value lied.
Yep.
And you had these nurses with bruised faces from taking care of people because they had a passion for it. And then you had them contract COVID and be told they had to use their vacation time, exhaust their vacation time, knowing that they had contracted, and the hospital said, we don't know that you got it from here.
Oh my gosh. I remember hearing about that. I remember people trying to offer up their vacation time to help.
Yes. And the thing is,
that wasn't allowed.
And the thing is, we look at it like they're losing money, they didn't get paid for time that they had off, and you had to be off, but it's so much more than losing a paycheck.
Right.
If someone's living paycheck to paycheck, that's loss of a home. That's loss of who's counting on that person for resources as far as children or maybe elderly parents or whatever. Like, it's a whole lifestyle that's lost because essentially these places aren't valuing nurses.
Aquanya, I love that you're calling it a great awakening. I know in the corporate realm, they were calling the last couple of years the Great Resignation, where everyone was just jumping ship from corporate to create their own entrepreneurship or to find something that gave them more wellness in their lives, realizing, hey, I'm not even valued as a person right now, and I'm not my best self for my family. So I like the word Great Awakening more, because you realize there is that holistic wellness component and that like human rights component
yes
to it.
Yeah.
And awakening is not necessarily saying I'm going to step away from it. Awakening is saying I'm going to evaluate my specific circumstance and determine what's the best move I need to make for me and my family. Because these healthcare facilities are doing exactly that when it comes to their bottom line. So I feel, and I mean, because think about it, we talk about the physical component of nursing, but the mental health component is so much more. If I'm not intact mentally, I don't care how physically in shape I am, you don't want me doing anything to you.
Yeah. And there was at least, in my time and when I was there were no resources for that type of thing. No acknowledgement even that, hey, if you come into your job every day and you're absorbing everyone else's worst traumas every single day, and by necessity, you have and develop survival mechanisms like shutting down emotional capacity, basically, and compartmentalizing things and doing things that are going to be ultimately detrimental to your emotional and spiritual health. There was no acknowledgement of that, and certainly no resources for how to manage that. It was just like, keep on smiling.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Take it
gosh,
for the
yeah.
team, guys.
And that all gets into your body, right? Like all of that stress.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not
Oh, I
dealt
had
with.
all kinds of
And
gunk
she's
to
right. Because I mean,
work out.
yeah, if you think about it, you're becoming more callous, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, code blue. Okay, patient didn't make it. Two other
Mhm.
patients. Let's go. Boom, boom. You become so automated and callous. And then you wonder why you're showing up in different areas of your life in this callous way, right? You're trying to spawn, say, a relationship with
Mm-hmm.
your child, and you have a hard time connecting with your child, or a
Mm-hmm.
romantic encounter, and they're like, I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like you're not as vulnerable, or you're not as open.
Mm-hmm.
This is stuff that spilled over from work.
Yep. It becomes your default management of if you start to feel an emotion that you don't like, at least this is how it kind of felt for me. If you start to feel an emotion that you don't like, you've become so good at just like, you think you're throwing it away, but you're not.
You're
It's
packing it away.
manifest, you're packing it away, and it's going to manifest as something eventually, be it physical or emotional or social or all of the above.
You're right. It's like, it's almost
I think
like
it was all of the
stuffing
above.
it down
Yeah.
in a container.
So it's
to
like
speak.
you're like rotting on the
Yeah.
inside because you have to feel things in order to process them. Even if
Mhm.
you know, wait, like what would have been great is for somebody to teach us like, okay, do what you need to do to do your job at work, right? You can't be this like blubbering emotional mess, but when you're done, then allow yourself to feel that emotion, process it, and move on to the next thing. Even if it would have been something as simple as like recommending journaling or going to a therapist. Like
Or time
nobody
for, like,
ever even
workshops or-
acknowledged that we might need that.
I think I remember the beginning of the dysfunction of creating that callous type of mentality,
Mm-hmm.
which, by the way, I still carry forward today. I think I process it better, but when you're a young new nurse, it's foreign, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I never forget, I was just off. It was my first like week off of orientation. We had 12 weeks critical care orientation. I was working night shift, and it was a trauma came in, and it was a gunshot wound to the head. Never forget. And it was a 18-year-old who had given someone a ride somewhere, and the person turned out to try to rob him, to driven him to a open field, shot him in the head. So by the time he got to me, his head was all, wrapped up. It was inoperable. And in the 2 days that we were there, because we also, once patients were, gone, we did LifeLink, which is the preservation of organs for donation to help other people sustain life. So this particular patient, young kid, and I had a son by that time. I think my son may have been like 5 or 6 or something like that. And when that mom got there, I'll never forget, he was adopted. She was a great lady. He seemed like a great kid. The pain she felt, I had to keep it together. I was in nurse mode. So I hugged her because when you're taking care of a patient, it's patient-centered care, but holistically, you're taking care of that family too. So if it means hugging and just staying in there, just listening, just whatever, right? So we're doing all of that. And then it came time for, LifeLink, this, that, and the problem was he was brain dead. But when you have a gunshot wound to the head, I hope I'm not being too gory, but
No.
they never herniate down into the brainstem to get them to stop breathing. So what happens is all night I spent rewrapping his head.
I didn't know that. They don't herniate down.
No, because they have the opening in the head. So when pressure builds,
because
it
they're
exits
already
out,
done. Makes
yeah.
sense. Oh
They
my
don't-
gosh.
Yeah. You remember that. You
I
forgot.
do.
But because you were wrapping brain up.
Yeah.
So I was constantly trying to make it so that his mother didn't have to see her son's skull contents. I'm trying to say this tactically, coming out, right? So because he would never herniate down, they did what they call a donation after cardiac death. So 5 a.m. that morning, right before the next shift, we take him to the OR. Well, what happens is once he gets to the OR, respiratory removes life support. And then within that hour, he has to expire. If he doesn't, we take him back to a room and let him expire there.
Mhm.
It hit me that time because we didn't call doctors to come back and pronounce the patient. So it was on me as a nurse to pronounce this patient deceased, and your mind plays all kind of morbid tricks on you. So when the patient finally expired, the LifeLink team couldn't pronounce him because it's a conflict of interest. I'm sitting there and I'm wanting to hear a heartbeat that I know I want this mother. She wants it to be present too, just as bad as I do, but there isn't one. And when I finally pronounce this patient, I'm getting chills just like thinking about it.
Yeah.
The heartbreak, like I left there numb. I left the OR numb. I hugged the mom. I hugged the rest of the family. And then the team came in to harvest the organs. But I sat in my car that morning before I got off and I cried like, oh my gosh, just thinking about it. Like I still have his mother's business card in my wallet to this day.
Aww.
And it's one of those things I'll never forget. And that was the day I learned that, okay, this is the last time you're going to be able to kind of show emotion like this. And I think that's where the beginning of all my callous kind of the dysfunction, so to speak. Because you, like Emily said earlier, you think you're throwing it away. I didn't throw that away that day. I packed it down. And that's why even now it brings chills and I tear up thinking about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
much
that's
for that, like sharing that too. I mean, that's both of you and Emily and I talk about it a lot too when we're working out. Like that's retaining so much into your core self of emotions, and the way they portray it in movies and television shows is they make it look like, I mean, maybe they provide it for doctors, but they make it look like there's healthcare staff or like psychiatrists or counselors there.
No.
And that doesn't really exist, huh?
We had a really great chaplain at our hospital, but no, often we would be the only person present, either completely or besides family members when someone died.
Yeah. And then you were so busy supporting family that you couldn't process your own emotions.
Right.
And the thing is, you forget about it a little bit. And some of these were really traumatic, like really traumatic. And you set your unprocessed emotions into that vacuum sealer bag where you put all your other stuff. And then one day somebody comes along with a pen and just, and then you kind of.
Yeah, I think most of us, at least who are doing that kind of work, are walking around with some flavor of PTSD, that creeps in at certain points in their lives. And it just makes me think about like the whole concept of nurses as healthcare workers, ironically being some of the least healthy people, you know what I mean? Like mentally, and it's going to be like as within, so without kind of thing. If you're letting your physical health go, then your mental health is going to go right along with it, and vice versa. If you're letting your mental health go because you're just, experiencing all these traumas on a day-to-day basis, then your physical health is going to be affected as well. So I mean, I think it highlights sort of this might be a little dramatic, but like a silent crisis,
I agree. And I agree. I think it spills over even into the way, I don't know if you've ever heard the concept, and I'm sure Emily has, but in training, as far as new nurses coming into the profession, like nurses
eating their young.
And it's like, how can I value and instill in you great things if I don't even like me and what I do? I at my core, and the number of new nurses or student nurses, because that go through units, and the experienced nurses that tell them, I don't know why you're coming into this, or, they're really negative about it. And I don't think that they hate nursing as much as they hate the lack of support they receive in nursing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we
And
always say
it's
that, like, that saying that hurt people,
Mhm.
but like they're so callous at that point, like in a way they're trying to probably protect you from
Yeah.
yeah.
the hurt that they have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Emily.
No, it's
No,
okay.
that's
And you'll sort of find that it's the more seasoned nurses who are the worst about doing that. And I don't think it's because they have ill intentions, and really they're not even thinking that
Mhm.
they're hurting the people who could relieve them.
Mhm.
Right. But I think it's just they've had so long of this callousness and trauma building up without really any support or resources to process that in a healthy way. So,
Like, and if you think about it, like, I'm sure you agree with this statement, but those nurses that were really jaded in that way, if you can almost allow yourself to not be affected by their hard exterior,
yeah.
the amount of that they can teach you
Yep.
is like those
Oh,
are some
yeah.
of the best nurses
The best
ever.
nurses to
The best
be
nurses.
around. I'm
Now,
thinking I got one in particular. I know
I'm
you know
telling
who
you,
it is.
like, if something is going down, you
Yeah.
want her there.
Uh-huh.
Like, and she can teach you so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the whole concept of, like Emily said, or I'm not sure if you said it, maybe they're being that way because they're almost trying to protect you in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, if you, like, everyone talk about, the doctors saved the life, and they do. I don't want to take anything from physicians. They're an amazing group of people. But I don't think there's enough kudos to the nursing care, because if you count how many lives were saved by
Yeah,
you,
because it's somebody that catches the thing before the thing happens.
and there's this misconception that many nurses are nurses, or many people in healthcare that aren't physicians are what they are because they're not
Because they
smart
couldn't
enough.
be doctors,
That
right?
is not, that is the furthest thing from the truth. They chose to be what they are. It's not that they
Mhm.
don't have the smart. I mean,
Mhm.
no shade, but you can be a doctor.
Well,
and
any
get a C.
career, yeah,
Yeah.
you can find good ones and bad ones, smart ones and
Right.
dumb ones, exactly.
Right. So
And you got people who are really book smart, who then once you
clinically, it
get
doesn't come-
clinically, it doesn't compute.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's a unfortunate stereotype. But I hope that's kind of going away. I hope that sort of somewhat, it's
Yeah.
starting to become more mainstream, this idea that nursing is just a separate profession, not a lowlier profession. Or, I mean, yeah, technically you go through less years in school, but if you're doing advanced nursing, I mean, you're really not. And you're lumping. I mean, you have to know as a CRNA everything that an anesthesiologist has to know.
Yeah.
So you just have it in a compressed amount of time to learn,
Right.
And
they've actually made my profession a doctoral
Mhm.
like
Right.
entry now. I
Right.
was grandfathered in, and I'll probably go back and pursue. But
A lot of people are using nurses as their primary care now. And so,
and it kind of wraps up into that whole healthcare and profits, right? Because we're not even patients anymore. We're healthcare consumers. So with that
I hate
being
that.
said,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
where we
icky.
are.
I hate it
And
because it like that implies, I mean, I think it just needs to be a separate category. Like, we need not bring capitalism into healthcare. That just, it is a conflict of interest. And that makes it, that takes it out of the realm of healthcare. Because if we really wanted people to be healthy, we would want them not to use the system.
Correct.
We want to reserve that system and reserve those resources for the traumas, for the major surgeries and the cancer and the
profits and the
yeah, duh. Right. Exactly. So
Yeah, it's wild to think about, especially during the pandemic when you would see lines outside of the hospitals with people.
What people got to know too is like all this was happening. This didn't just happen magically with COVID. This was all I got out of the hospital almost 2 years before COVID happened, and it was well on its way to this.
Pull the covers off.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And in some cases, I think provided a scapegoat, which kind of irritates me because it's like, no, we were already dealing with this.
Right. Like Em and I worked through like Ebola.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And we're in there with like a cigarette and a hat. Like seriously? Like, okay, I'm supposed to be
That's
afraid of
funny.
this. I mean, just like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it got
Like I think the
pretty
rest
real.
of the world just kind of was exposed to what we were already like.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we would have seen it through a different lens. I mean, because like you were saying, you're not spending a great deal of time in the hospital, hopefully.
Yeah.
So a lot of people didn't realize that a lot of this was happening and we didn't have the right questions to even ask. But it's great to hear that people like you are creating your own approach and systems that are healthier. And would
Mhm.
it be great if like those caught on in a bigger way?
I think it would be great in a lot of ways, but I think it would be greater if the bigger corporate sector of healthcare would, because people have to work within that system in
Yeah.
order for the system to work. So, you want a balance that creates a better environment so that hospitals can retain nurses on staff and
Mhm.
not have to rely on
Yeah.
travel nurses
Right.
to, like it creates other little micro dynamics that really just make it harder and harder on the nurses who might like their staff nurse job, but like all the environment around it is just so shitty because of all these factors that are playing in.
So this is gonna sound like I mean, it may sound weird, but it may not. I just really think that if there was, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say a nurse run hospital
Mhm.
that would collaborate with other disciplines that really allowed the nurse driven
Mhm.
prototype to really be executed.
Yes.
Um,
People who have
I
worked
would be
clinically and
right.
understand
Because at that point they would
the things
also
besides the
understand-
bean counting.
besides the bean counting, they would also understand though, because to me, it costs me more to hire a crappy provider, whether that's a nurse, physician, therapist, whatever, than to take the time and hire someone who's truly passionate about what it is they do. I would rather pay them because I'm going
Mhm.
to get better results. Because at that point, they're operating and they're working from integrity as
Mhm.
opposed to salary.
Just coming in and out, and
Right.
they don't
But-
really have any
Right.
attachment to the hospital.
Right. And
Yeah.
I just feel like at the end of the day, and maybe I'm in a fairy tale world, but I feel like it's enough of us out there to do that.
Well, plus I don't even think that it's a fairy tale. I think you're literally just asking for the bare minimum, but we've been so programmed to be like, just take it. Like
Mhm.
you're a nurse, you can take it.
Yeah.
And then you just do because
Because it's
for all the reasons until you don't anymore, until
you
stick it to the man.
prioritize you. Because I mean,
Yeah.
at some point, and that's what it was for me at some point, because the more we take, the bolder these people and companies get, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I do what I do because I love it. I mean, and I can recall, like I got to a point where I was feeling bad asking for just
Right, the
basic
bare
things to be
minimum.
supported. And then I was met with, well, and all I'm saying, hey, I'm working by myself. I don't have this, and this. And I'm just, maybe we can kind of, and when I come and I don't know if you remember this, but even as a nurse on the floor, if I came with a problem, I'm coming with a solution. I don't want you to just
to be
feel like,
complaining.
exactly. I have a way that we can fix this, or at least something, somewhere we can start. So for you to meet me with, well, if this isn't working for you, maybe you should leave. I was like clutching my pearls. Do you know how devalued that made me feel as a employee? I'm like, oh.
It's almost like a narcissist empath relationship. And I think corporations like prey on the empathy of nurses, because even though we do develop this callousness, like at the core of I think just about every nurse, because nursing school alone is
Mhm.
enough to weed out if the
Mhm.
really rotten apples. I think at the core of every nurse is an empathetic
Right.
being.
Yeah.
And so they can prey on that, like that tendency to like feel bad if you
Mhm.
leave before every single thing is done, even though you're 3 hours, past your
Shift.
Yeah.
shift time, or, fill in the blank. There's so many situations that you can sort of just subtly infuse some guilt there. And
Mhm.
so we'll just grin and bear it because we're tough, because we can,
And then-
and because we do care. Because it's like, well, if you left now, that means you don't care.
And it's crazy
Yeah.
because oftentimes we're loyal to situations that are not loyal to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing that I had to consider, because when you're speaking to a person in that manner in a room of the peers, that's like, on top of being rude, it's just mean. And it's like,
Mhm.
man, that was mean. So after that was said to me like 2 or 3 times, I'm like, okay, they've done what they're going to do. What are you going to do? Because at this point, it's not what they're doing to you, it's what you're allowing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. It sounds so much like a codependent relationship.
Yeah, it's true. And it's
yeah.
like, okay, if someone has been giving you apples for 12 months, clearly it's an apple tree. Why are you looking for oranges at this point? It's
Mhm.
time to go ahead and, either plant an orange tree, go visit an orange tree. You're not getting what you need. So, but the thing is, they're so, I don't even know if I would call it narcissistic, but when you finally do that thing that they told you to do, because
Mhm.
you've been telling me over and over, if this isn't working for
You
you,
call their bluff.
right. So once I literally, I kid you not, I turned in my resignation, not because it was personal,
Mm-hmm.
because I was
Just
making
the best move in your life.
for
Yeah.
me. Yeah. And to be blackballed and isolated, like literally, like, I'm like, wait a minute, isn't this what you wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna like not talk to me?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's how dare you hurt me
Right.
for leaving?
Right.
Yeah.
How dare you love yourself enough to get rid of
Manipulative
Right.
tactics.
Oh my gosh.
Gaslighting and
When I tell you,
blame shifting and
but you know what? Maya Angelou has a quote, and she says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And truth be told, I have seen many people, and you, when you're a person who wants to see the good in everybody, you deny that first impression of them. But I'm really trying to rest in believing people when they tell me when they're showing me, not tell me, but showing me who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Because actions for me are so much more paramount. I can tell you I'm a mermaid, but if I haven't shown you my fins, am I really?
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this day and age when everybody's just claiming to be whatever they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Aquanya, like, what are the principles that you infuse into your way of doing business that help you live more aligned to your purpose and your joy and why you started doing what you're doing?
definitely integrity. And no matter what I do, I have to do the right thing even when no one's looking, right? So that's something that's huge for me. Another thing,
Definitely a quality you want in a nurse.
yeah. I mean, definitely. I don't know. I think also I consider my job to be a privilege, and I actually thank a lot of my patients. Like I was telling you guys earlier, if I get a chance to, I make rounds in recovery to check on my patients and kind of just to show my face again. But when I'm there doing that, I thank them for allowing me to participate in their care. Because I mean, they didn't have to, right? Truth be told, we don't have to have if someone makes us feel uncomfortable for any reason, we can decide to not have that person there. So I don't take it lightly that I'm allowed into a person's surgical experience in any capacity. So that's something I infuse into my care. Oddly enough, humor. I'm quite silly. So I love to make my patients laugh, because many times before surgery, people are all uptight, they're really nervous. I get it. And I mean, obviously within reason, you got to bring emotional intelligence, because some people you just don't need to joke with. But the ones that I can make laugh, I try to make them laugh. So normally I go into the preoperative area, when I meet the patient, I kind of say, "Happy surgery day." Isn't that kind of like an oxymoron? That's the first thing that makes them laugh. But
break a leg.
I'm telling you, well, not break a leg.
I
I'm a
know.
G. But, just kind of try to make it a joyous experience. I like to, no matter which life I encounter in which whatever capacity, I kind of want them to remember, you know what? I can't pronounce her name, but she was pretty. Whatever her name is. So, and not just, the external clients, but also the internal clients. I like the surgeons to like working with me. I like the nurses and the techs, because everyone has a important part that they play, from, the CEO of the hospital down to the janitor that keeps the floor clean. Everyone's job is important. And just because my job isn't their job doesn't take away from it at any time.
Yeah. I think that indirectly that is really doing a service to the patient as well, because if you can sort of affect positively the way every other, especially in a surgical setting, if you can affect positively the way that every other, employee is showing up, that's only going to benefit the patient at the end of the day.
Very true.
Very true. And I think the humor is super valuable too. Like, that saying that laughter is the best medicine, I think is a cliche for an absolute reason.
Yeah, it actually releases endorphins, so it's scientific too. So that.
And when we pulled, when Lisa pulled the I Ching reading before we recorded, joy was the first card.
I do. I try to definitely brighten a lot of spaces, and honestly, it's a gift and a curse, because of the obvious, but a curse because it makes it so hard to leave places. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm leaving people, and the way people show up for me when I'm leaving kind of reminds me of the impact I made in that space. And so it's like bittersweet, It really is bittersweet. I can recall the thing that you guys did for me when I went to school, and then even stepping out onto my own and my own business, the things that the hospital did for me there. And it's like, these aren't things that are solicited. Like, this is people, but that's how I show up for people too. I love making people feel present anytime they're around me. I want them to know that I try to give them their flowers while they're here.
So we've delved into a lot of things about nursing, and for someone who might be out there listening, like considering going to nursing school, who we've scared the bejesus out of, let's bring it back to a takeaway, maybe a more uplifting takeaway. What would you have to say for someone like that who is considering going into nursing? Bravely so, but to let them know that it's not all terrible and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. What would you say to that person?
I would say that no matter what you choose, there are going to be sacrifices that you make, right? Rarely are you ever going to have success that'll be worth it without sacrifice. And I truly feel like nursing, for me, if you're searching yourself and you're doing nursing because you genuinely care about people, because honestly, I feel like God selected me for it. Because at first I took a negative aspect when I was like dealing with COVID and I was on the front line so much, but then I had to shift my perspective, and I had to say, you know what? I'm not being stuck in this area. Nothing happens by chance. I'm being chosen to take care of these people because they know I would do such a good job at it. And when I kind of looked at it in that aspect, it made me realize there's no one better to do this. Like, I am that person. So if you're considering nursing, yes, you're going to have things that are going to be challenging, but will it be worth it ultimately if you were truly selected for it? Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so rewarding, because you're not doing it for the attaboys, right? You're doing it for, I don't know, just that it just feels good. Like, it legit feels good. If I had it to do all over again, I would select the same route all day, despite every negative thing I've said. And what I try to do is be that person that doesn't tell the new nurses, oh, you chose the wrong profession. Everything that I encountered that I didn't like, being a student, I try not to put that off on. I mean, I don't lie to them
On the career.
but there's a way to say and do everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, we've said some harsh things here today, but if you were to encounter me in the educational or clinical space, you would get quite the different, experience. This is just, we're being candid, we're being black and white. Like, these are some areas for improvement. And just to kind of backtrack, yes, healthcare can use a little bit more mental health support for nurses and doctors and anyone that works in that space. Would it correct everything? Maybe not, but would it make it a little bit better? Yes. Because when people see you trying, they acknowledge the effort, and I feel like that's a start.
I would add too, just don't take things personally. You'll have a lot more peace going through the process if you just choose not to take things personally.
Yeah, very much. That's very true.
You're probably going to feel stupid.
Yeah.
More than a time or two.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. Know what you don't know and don't take anything.
Oh my gosh.
Personally.
That is huge. Knowing what you don't know. Because that whole fake it till you make it, there's no do-overs in nursing. So when you're faking it, somebody might just die. So yeah, that's not cool. So know what you don't know and be okay with asking, or just double checking. Sometimes it's just a second set of eyes.
Yeah. No matter how long you've been doing it, honestly. You can't ever know and retain everything. So and then what do you think a takeaway for the non-nursing folks out there would be from this discussion?
I would say, if you know someone has been nursing for a while, give them a little grace, because they may be dealing with a lot of physical, mental, spiritual components that you haven't even considered, that they have to consider because of the line of work they've chosen, or that the line of work that's chosen them. So I would say definitely give them a little grace. Understand that their humor, yes, it's weird, but that's how it's a coping mechanism. And then they, if you can kind of just listen sometimes, let them vent. They would definitely appreciate that. And when you're talking to them, ask them, do you just want to vent, or do you really want my advice on this? Because sometimes they just need to get it out, and they don't have a lot of areas. Because if their family does not work in healthcare, they don't get to kind of let it out.
Yeah.
But they're super, super compassionate people. Most of them that I've met, 90% of nurses, you're going to be well taken care of, even if they seem hard. Those are the softest ones. Those are the best.
Inside that candy coated shell is some
the best
fishy caramel. I never know how I want to say that word.
It's worth taking the time to crack through the surface of someone in healthcare, and knowing you both and hearing your stories of ways that you were able to joke around and lift each other up. And obviously it made for a long-lasting friendship so far. But as you're both talking, I can see there's a lot of parallels between what you're talking about, and really, really, you can carry that over into any profession. The idea of stress is at the root of all disease. And that's something that we hold. I mean, especially in the Western world, really encapsulate all that stress into what we do and allow that to become part of a working environment. Like, it's okay. When in fact, systems could probably be created and changed to help mitigate a lot of stress that's taking people down and leaving them to resign and look for other things, taking people away from what they believe to be their purpose, and a lot of times really wanting to help. I think, especially you're talking about, the purpose, the life journey aspect, and being able to remember back to that one person that may be a mentor for a day, like in a shadowing experience, but that one person that exemplified joy enough to inspire you to take that step is, I think what carries over across all professions is being able to remember why you accepted the path that you're on. Remember the joy and why you started to begin with. And that's something that takes work to maintain. It's not an effortless thing. It's something you need to check in with yourself and, and stoke that fire to get back to that place where you're like, okay, this is why I started. This is what I'm infusing into my day, in my conversations, in my work. Yeah, I mean, and I hear a lot of gratitude too.
Yeah.
Being something that drives you in why you do what you do. And it's supremely hard in healthcare to maintain that. So
I think I'm still geeked about my path. I love it so much. And I used to hear people talk about that like thing that they would do even if they wouldn't be compensated for it. And I know it sounds cliche. I know I need to take care of my family, but I would totally do this for nothing. Like, and that just sounds so weird. And I never thought I'd hear myself saying something like that. And even when I have students, I want to be, I wish I could remember that CRNA's name that inspired me the way she did, but I try to be that to so many. So, I mean, I'm a mentor. I actually have an email now about being a mentor. I help do interview prep for anesthesia school or just advanced nursing practice positions, period, like ARNP. I help people, whatever your destiny is. I mean, I'll tailor it to that because I like seeing people reach their purpose. So me being able to do what I love, I feel like the least I could do is give back by, helping write mission statements or, being on interview panels or just, I don't know. Whatever I can do to help someone else get to their good thing, I feel like I've reached my good thing.
I think that's so great too, and such a great illustration of like that person probably has no freaking clue what kind of effect they had on you just by like showing up and being a good mentor that day, and the butterfly effect that created, because now you're inspired to do that for other people. And so any 1 or 10 people that now you choose to mentor along the way can also have the same effect. And so we just multiply and multiply and multiply, just by taking that attitude of like, instead of eating my young today, I'm going to show up and like teach them.
Because she was not like, and you're absolutely right. It would have been nothing for her to say, the perfusionist isn't here, she can't come with me. It makes no sense. It would have been nothing. But for whatever reason, God allowed her to say, you know what? Sure. I didn't know why. She didn't know why. I'm behind the curtain seeing absolutely nothing. I mean, I'm looking over, looking at an open heart, but I mean, and it's just like you said, I've helped countless people get into programs at this point.
Oh, it was an open heart too?
Yeah.
Wow.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
And it opened my heart right up.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's good for you too, to be in that space where you were able to recognize a really significant opportunity. And that's what's only possible when we are operating in a place where we're not under a lot of stress. That's when we miss out on all of those opportunities. Right. So what's next for you, Aquanya, with Hicks Anesthesia? Do you see an evolution happening in the coming years?
But I'm open to quite a few opportunities actually. I definitely wouldn't mind going into the cosmetic space at some point, whether it'll be, that's probably more long term. I actually have a buddy of mine that has like a clinic where she offers Botox and chemical peels and all those types of things. So she and I have spoken about possibly in the future, especially with me being a woman of color, exploring some of those opportunities because it's kind of not an untapped, but a lesser tapped, and so that's something I may think about. Definitely, I love teaching. As I mentioned earlier, I'm affiliated with USF and their anesthesia program. I do some adjunct professor there, and I'm also USF alumni. Go Bulls! And as well as, so teaching, I definitely enjoy teaching. So maybe something in academia, but as far as my company, definitely just continuing to touch as many lives as I can via office-based and hospital-based anesthesia. We'll be headed out to Orlando at a hospital near you.
Hicks Anesthesia coming to Orlando.
On tour.
They want a little bit of love up there. So,
What was your slogan? Sleep
sleep with the best.
with the best.
Don't wake up with the rest.
I love that.
I'm writing that down. That's going in your bio. So, Aquanya, are you welcome to people reaching out to you if they have questions about what you shared with us today?
Yeah, that's quite all right. I just have a phone number or email or whatever.
Aquanya is a rare specimen who stays away from the social media, like in its entirety.
I respect
Oh,
that.
you have a LinkedIn. Okay, that's good. Well, we won't give out your phone number, but maybe people can reach out to you on your LinkedIn, Aquanya Hicks.
Odd, and I've been told that. But yeah, I'm just like, I'll do it next year.
I mean, it's admirable.
I'm a fan of LinkedIn, honestly, too. So yeah, that's kind of been a good space to get to know people. So we'll share your LinkedIn profile in the description. I really like
update it then, because there went that.
We should be friends on LinkedIn. I have one now.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Emily, they don't call it friends on LinkedIn though. It's is it? Connection.
Whatever.
It's not
shaking things up.
Yeah.
As we can, I need to do better, but social media just doesn't ruffle my feathers.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, don't do it. It's not necessary.
Right. Thank you. Thanks. You're the first person that said that. I need to jot this date down. Everyone else tells me how lame I am.
No, I just think it's funny because when I'm hanging out with you, it looks like I've got an imaginary friend,
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm with somebody right now, but you can't see them.
Right. She'll show them like my shoes or something.
Yeah. The headless workout pictures.
And then the people that we know, they'll be like, I know that was you. I know that was your leg. That was your leg. Because when I'm with them, they do the same thing.
They say, I know that was your leg on Emily's social media. Oh, Aquanya, let me ask you before we tie this up with a bow at the end, but what has been your experience in working with Emily in training and FST?
Oh my gosh. It's been amazing. So
her feathers are ruffling.
I'm telling you,
I'm ruffling my feathers.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. So I first reached out to her. Okay, because by now everyone knows I'm long-winded, so I got to be dramatic and cool. Sorry, guys.
You're a great storyteller.
We're so short-winded, so it's weird.
Aquanya, are you a Gemini also?
Close enough. I'm a Taurus.
You're Taurus.
Oh, okay.
The little bull there.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually reached out to her because I was going to get massages and my back was all jacked up. And I'm still chunky, but even more chunkified, if that's a word. So
I like that word.
I called because I'm like, wow, Em does like FST. I'm like, I don't even know if she remembers me because we used to work together.
It's like, do you remember me? Like,
do you remember me? You mean the life or death experiences that we had together?
We're trauma bonded, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
couldn't forget you if I wanted to.
Of course she knows like 33 Aquanias, right? So when
it makes me comfortable as a Gemini.
I'm telling you.
I'm like, oh, she's got enough personalities to match mine.
So when I called, I was trying to be all like formal. I'm like, I'm Aquanya. And she's like, shut up. So anyway, I came up here and she stretched me, and then it was amazing. I got stretched drunk, and then she also started talking to me about like weightlifting, which I had never done. And then she got me to being like, I was really strong.
You were strong, yeah.
Yeah, she got me.
Yeah, she's a deadlifting queen.
Yeah, I was impressed. And miraculously, like my back pain from working and all that kind of went away. I got like a little shoulder stuff that was going on, but like by strengthening a lot of those muscles and especially my core, she taught me, and using proper body mechanics. Like I came a long way. I was impressed. And then I got to do it all barefoot up here. So that was
cool. Yeah.
I like that.
We run around barefoot.
But I love him.
Oh, I love you back.
stuff. So, and then we have like, honestly, mental and spiritual talks while I'm doing my weightlifting. And then she met Louise, and Louise.
Jeez, Louise.
So Louise is my person that I
We're a
throuple. So when I get like really tired, and then she laughs at me. It's this evil laugh she does when I'm really tired and my fat's crying.
Stop.
Jeez, Louise. Louise is around.
We call in the butt cheeks.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa knows all that. We do the same, therapeutic.
Aquanya, I use some of your cues to working out as well. So when I'm practicing my chin ups, I like to pretend there's a snake pit at the bottom. So you've inspired that.
Snakes are down there. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Follow me for more workout tips. Really,
that's going in Emily's book.
Yeah, that's right. But no, seriously, she's one of the best. Like, she's the best trainer I've had. Definitely, because even though I don't come as often as I did before, what I was able to take away from her, I will be back. Like, I was low key wondering why didn't I do a workout this morning, but then I would have been probably out of it by the time we did this. You leave nothing left. She drains it all. But
part of it's the dramatics in between.
And that's another thing. I can just like,
you chose to be here, right?
I not only chose, I paid to be here.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. I can just be my unapologetic self.
I love it.
Talk about this.
Yeah, I miss it.
Go for it.
I miss it.
I like that. It's like working out more than just your body.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. It's like a therapy session. Mm-hmm. And it's almost weird because when I would come in, she would know when something was like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, I needed this. And I mean, from family things to like just to the job. She's heard about my bosses that I've tried to. That's why I'll leave that alone. But it's just a lot. Just it's the people that are supposed to be in your life make their way.
That's true. That's true.
I think it's a mistake that we found each other and I pretended to be another Aquanya that needed FST.
It's another conscious collaboration for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I think we've really learned a lot today. I actually feel a lot better talking to you, Aquanya. But really,
she's like nursing even when she's not nursing.
You just have a great presence about you. And it makes me remember some of the things that are really important to keep maintained in any day. It's like Emily and I always talk about routines, right? So like we talk about the importance of sunlight and, touching the earth and making sure that our minds and our bodies are in a good place before we do anything in our work or our life. But in talking with you, I am thinking more about the aspects of joy and gratitude and doing things for other people, like coming from that place.
It feels good, but you touch is huge too. I didn't bring that up, but during COVID, it was so many people that were unable to be touched.
Yeah, completely isolated.
And that, like when I spoke earlier about, changing my mind frame and realizing that I was selected to take care of so many COVID patients. During that time, human touch is so healing. And I mean, it's so necessary. So because their families couldn't be there, I touched a lot of people. And not just like literally, I made sure I rubbed their hair just slightly, touched their hands, held their hand. Like just nothing medicinal, just present. Because there was no one, you got to think everyone's scared. Like at this point, I'm in.
Yeah.
Do it. Like,
we've been all up in the germs.
Yeah. So your touch, like I'm glad that you said that.
I hope that a good amount of current nurses, in any profession really, I think you can take all these tidbits into, but I hope a lot of current nurses end up listening to this and sort of get these reminders. I think there's a lot of good reminders in here. of really like why you're doing this and how to bring the joy back and the gratitude back and you know, how to make it a more enjoyable experience, even in the craziest of circumstances.
Because you can't change the world, but you can look at yourself and like see what you can deposit into it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what do you want that experience to be? Yeah.
Something we said before we started recording that I think is really like a good, like punctuation mark here is have the intention of bringing value into every room you walk into.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And being responsible for the energy that you bring into it. So if you have a ratty, whatever, you need to check that at the door, figure out what you need to do, because you don't know, you can be encountering someone who decided that today is their last day. And if you come in with that crappy attitude, you just solidify.
Confirm that for them, yeah.
But on the opposite side of that, you could also be the person who they say, you know what, I was gonna
turned it all around.
I decided not to because I encountered you. So
wow.
Oh, I love that so much. I'm so glad that you joined us today and talking this through and just riffing with us and going through our process of
anytime. This is my jam. I love this.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me, for even considering me. Like this opportunity has not been taken lightly. Hicks Anesthesia so appreciates it.
Hicks Anesthesia.
So appreciate
Great logo too. I'll see if we can get the logo on the podcast cover. I'm a fan.
Cool.
I want to see this logo. Yeah. Next time we have you back, I would like to do something more about your, we really shared with us throughout this whole experience too, your ability to talk about relationships and interrelationships in work and in personal. So I think that would be another good time for you to come back.
I would love it. Hopefully I'll actually have one.
Could be a regular.
But even if I don't, I have a relationship with myself. I'm okay with just that, if that's all it takes.
Yeah. Well, and friendship, relationships and all those things. Yeah.
Friendship, romantic, work, all of that. Just really having that discernment
as a whole. I think that's important. Yeah. And I think we put titles on such ones like friends, especially. I know a lot of people, but I don't consider a lot of people my friends because it's a lot of responsibility. And I like to show up for my friends.
Yeah, you do.
And I think I heard another quote. Here I am with my quotes. If everything is important, nothing's important. Like, ooh, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Because
yeah, that's energy leakage.
Right.
And summed up right there.
Because so many times
just give to everybody, then
like if you
can't prioritize anything.
Exactly. What's a priority at that point if everything's a priority? And 90% of the time nothing gets done.
Aquanya coming with the bangers. Coming with the bangers today.
A page full of notes from you, Aquanya.
But no, I'll be happy to be back anytime.
Thank you so much. Well, ladies, any last words before we close it out today?
I think we could keep going and going and going.
I shouldn't say that to people that come from healthcare. Calling the time.
Last words.
I just want to thank you too, though, so much. Like I so appreciate just you listening and also exposing me and our conversation to your audience. Like I know you're sick of me saying thank you, but literally, thank you. Right?
Never. Thank you back.
Yes. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. I hope that you have a page full of notes like I do, of beautiful quotes and inspiration. And I hope everybody is walking away from this trying to remember, connect back with the joy that they had at the start of whatever journey that they're on. And I hope that you will continue this conversation with us on Facebook and our Conscious Collaboration Collective. You can search for the group there, follow the links in the description, and shoot us an email or hit us up in the DMs on Instagram. We're going to put Aquanya's LinkedIn in the description as well. So let's all be friends there, even though it's not okay to be
LinkedIn friends.
Let's tell everyone. Let's announce that we're LinkedIn friends on LinkedIn. I think that will go over. All right. Well, it's been great.
It's been great.
Good to see you, Emily. Thanks for bringing such a wonderful friend.
Thank you.
Anytime.
All right, ladies. Well, I'm sure I will talk to you in 5 minutes.
Talk to you in 5.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.